Okay?
Okay.
And the pituitary gland,
What?
Of a heart?
which are not related to the heart.
I was like, wait, what?
Okay, so the first thing to identify in the heart is to understand first its location. So typically the heart is located this way in a human being. This way. So this is pointing to the left. Remember, we're talking here about anatomical position. Okay? So if I would be looking at the heart, this is the anterior surface. Now, how did I find out about it? Okay? I'm going to show it to you on the other ones as well. So patience is a virtue. Anterior interventricular septum, right there. Okay? Apex of the heart, pointing to the left. I can see with my little eyes that these are probably arteries, and one of them makes a C. This is a C. If you look at it anatomically, okay, so this is probably coming from the right, and I see that I have two little ears. Okay, the apex is pointing to the left, and I decided this is the left, so this has to be the left auricle, and this has to be the right auricle. Okay, and here is the anterior interventricular septum. If I make a boo-boo and I flip it over, and I think that this is the anterior surface, which is wrong, and I'll tell you why it's wrong. Number one, because the interventricular septum, if you call it anterior, which is wrong, it's exactly in the middle. Okay? Yes? And even the apex is towards the right, towards the other side. Okay? Anatomically. Alright? So if you put the heart this way, anatomically, it's pointing to the heart, to the right. It doesn't make sense. Alright? So you have to put it this way. This way. This is the anterior, this is posterior. Okay? And you look at it anatomically. Make sense? Now we know the most important thing. Let's do it again. Is the heart like the ones you're going to see. Okay? And if you want to make a group of two and take that one, but I said it is incorrectly dissected by another book. That's not mine. Right? So here is the anterior interventricular septum. Apex on the left. Left auricle. Okay? Right auricle. I see very clearly that from the anterior surface I have the C shape, pulmonary. Okay? And I see with my little eyes the aortic arch. It's very clear. Why did I say that this is the aortic arch? Piece of cake. Because it's holding itself. It's giving me a certain structure. I can see the structure right there. It's open. It's wide open. Now look at the veins coming from the back. See how squished they are? You see how close they are? You cannot see that these are arteries. So if you hold the artery from the heart from this way, you're going to see the anterior, the interventricular septum, even if you make a boo-boo and say this is anterior, but where is the apex? On the right, on the other side. Make sense? Anatomical position. Here. I have the person facing me. Alright? And this is the anterior interventricular septum if I make a mistake, but the apex is on the right side. Capiche? Yes? Yes, Anna? Mm-hmm. Now we know why it's wrong? Then this is the correct way. Anterior interventricular septum. Apex of the heart. It doesn't have to be pointed like this. It's apex, right? Auricle on the left-hand side. Auricle on the right-hand side. Arterial side. Venous side. Okay? Now, remember C shape? Okay? Why did I tell you C shape? I know. No one said why.
Because it looks like a C.
No.
It's curved.
Hey. We decided to know what the reason is. Not because it's in the book. No. I don't care about the book. Alright? Because it's next to the car or park there. No. Because it is going from right to left. This is the direction. Because the ventricle pushes the blood towards the left hand side or the left heart or the left side. And then the aorta has to make an X shape with it, because the aorta goes up from left to right, and this goes from right to left. So they technically crisscross each other, and you'll see that the aorta is coming from the left ventricle, pushing blood like this, and then making an arch of the aorta to go underneath or behind all the way. You're going to see this next week. Posterior most structure right next to the vertebral column. Okay? So next week, I will ask you, when you dissect the heart, not the heart, the thorax rather, okay? You look at the lungs, okay? You're going to have to put your fingers all the way behind the lungs, and you will be palpating, not your lungs. And it's going to be, oh my God, behind lungs. And you're going to see the thick descending, thoracic descending aorta after it makes a posterior curve almost, okay? So if this is the anterior surface and you have the C shape, okay? You see the aorta going like this and making a loop, and then it goes all the way back to the vertebral column, okay? You will see that the inferior vena cava will be coming out, but anterior to all those structures, okay? So this will confirm la proxima semana, okay? Now, since we did here once more for the third time, anterior interventricular septum, apex on the left-hand side. So this has to be the left side of the heart, has to be the right side of the heart. I'm going to prove it to you right now, okay? This is the auricle on the left, this is the auricle on the right. Why did we say that the auricle is important? Because this is the landmark of L atrium. Alrighty? And I see thick vessels, very thick, that are holding themselves. Okay? I see one that looks like a C shape. So probably this is the pulmonary trunk. Okay? And this is the aorta in the back. See? It's going this way. This is the left. It's going this way, in this direction. And the C shape is going this way. Make sense? You understand how and why they're this way? Okay? Because the right, what comes out of the right side, it's not going to go to the same side. Okay? It is going to make a trunk, and then the trunk will separate. The aorta doesn't have a trunk. Okay? So it goes all the way to the other side, but it turns around to make an arch, and the arch will have 3 branches going up. Okay? One is the brachiocephalic to the right, and then one of each, okay, subclavian and common carotid. Okay? And right after the brachiocephalic trunk comes out, it will separate right away into right common carotid and then subclavian. Okay? So first there's a trunk on the right side, and then it separates. On the left side, there are 2 separate openings for those vessels. It's the only exception in the body where you have the right side not identical to the left side. Okay? That's all there is to it, to know about that little concoction. And here are the 3 vessels right there. Okay? So this one here is a trunk, goes out to this side. Okay? But because it's a trunk, it's going to separate immediately into subclavian, right, and common carotid, right. Here is the common carotid, left, and here is the subclavian, left. Got the concept? Yes? And I said this is the only exception of the rule that the right side is the mirror of the left side and vice versa. Exception is in those arteries. That's what comes to when it comes to veins and arteries and what have you. You always have left and right. Okay? Except this concoction here. Now, the reason I'm telling you that this is, I don't like this dissection, is because it's cutting the heart into 2 like this. Okay? Now here it's harder to identify. Why? Because you don't know where is anterior, where is posterior. Okay? You just see the walls, and that's all you can see here. Okay? But to really identify the chambers of the heart, I'm going to make a cut here. Once this is correct, if that's correct, And you're going to see, and I have my friend here, Elizabeth, put her. Tell everybody how thick this is.
It's pretty thick.
Well, measure it. Absolutely.
It's about 2 inches.
2 inches. Very good. Okay. All right. So thick, then has to be the left ventricle. I'm going to confirm it more. Leave it open, please. Hold it open. Okay. Now you can see very clearly. Hey, 2 hands. Didn't I ask that you have good muscles? Papillary muscle. This is an outbudding of the muscles. Come from the other side. And you have the chordae tendineae coming out of it. Right here. See the chordae tendineae? Tilt it towards them, please. There we go. Come closer, senorita. I'm not seeing anything. Here are the leaflets 2, 1, and 2 of the mitral valve or the bicuspid valve. Very thick muscles outbudding from the ventricle wall, and these are the chordae tendineae attached to the muscle, to the leaflets of the mitral valve. Okay? Now, how did I know that this is the left side of that thinking? Confirm it. If I said that this is the left side and this is the left auricle, then I have to prove it. So if I go with my little finger in there, I see a big cavity, okay? And that cavity should be, according to my measurements, the left atrium. So if it's the left atrium, if I connect to the left ventricle and I see a valve that has 2 leaflets, I am in the right place, yes? So I am going to go down, obviously, because this is open. So go ahead and open again. This is the huge opening of the right atrium. Bring it here, please. See here. This is how I got in. I just tore this. So this was the auricle. It was like this, and I made an opening and I went through. Okay? So this is the atrium. This is the auricle, the ear. And this is the atrium, and this is the mitral valve right there. And I am between the 2 flaps of that valve, chordae tendineae, same situation. Capish? Okay, now, if I put my finger here and I went anteriorly towards the, or down towards the atrium, I am going to go out in the back, okay, to the posterior surface, and here are the pulmonary veins. How did I know that these are veins? Piece of cake. You see here very clearly how thin those walls, okay, compared to the thick walls of any artery they can see. See the aorta? See how thick the wall is? Yes? See how this is so smushed and thin and it's even collapsed? Okay? It does not retain its shape. See, the aorta is right there. You can see the valve from here. You can see everything from here. Okay? I can put my whole head in. All right. So that's the left side of El Corazon. Okay? Now to the right side. The right side has to be on the right side. Yes? And if I make an opening and I have my friend Kaylin check the, Elizabeth rather, check the, I'm sorry, check the thickness of the wall, she will tell you that this is how big?
About an inch.
Less than an inch,
Less
okay?
than an inch.
And the other one was more than 2 inches, yes? Okay? So, why? Because we don't need the thickness. We're not doing the systolic here. We're not reaching all the parts of the body. We're reaching just the lung, because this is a pulmonary artery. And out of this comes the C shape from right to left. Okay? Okay? And if you open it, if you hold it for a moment, please, from this side so they can see, you can see very clearly the leaflets of the pulmonary valve right there. You see the leaflets of the pulmonary valve? I'm sorry, of the, that's the right, of the pulmonary valve, okay? And this is the one that was cut into 2 when we made the cut here, okay? So 1, 2, 3, there's one hiding. You can put your whole finger in that valve leaflet, okay? And what's the difference between this and this? No chordae tendineae. Alrighty? Yes? Now you've seen this. This was attached here to this, and Elizabeth cut it off when she pulled very hard. All right. So this is the. This is. I have to blame somebody. And this is the one and only moderator band. Technically, it is a branch of the conduction system of the heart. Okay, and it goes to the right side, and it connects the wall, the interventricular septum, to the wall of the right ventricle. Come closer. You didn't see anything. Come on. Come.
Don't be shy.
Yes, and here is the other one. Okay, if I'm oriented properly, I have to orient myself first. Yes, this is the right side. Okay, and this is the leftover of the moderator band after it was messed up from the previous students from the former term. Okay, now since we're at it, you can keep this open until tomorrow. Since we're at it in the just kidding. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're tired, huh? All right. You go to the right-hand side, and we're going to do the same thing. Okay. Go through the auricle, and go through, and I am in the vicinity or the cavity of the right atrium. Okay. See the right atrium? I'm there. Okay. So I made a boo-boo here, and I went through. All right. And then to show the tricuspid valve that's on the right-hand side. Okay. I had to do this. This is easy. Why is it easy? Why is it easier? Why is it easier to open this rather than the other one?
Oh, it's thinner.
There we go. Hello.
Oh, wait.
Hello. You're the one who's sitting next to me. All right. And you see the cavity of the right ventricle, of the right atrium. Here's the left ventricle, obviously. Okay. And here are the leaflets of the tricuspid valve. There is 1, 2, and the third one is hiding in the back. Chordae tendineae, same concoction, and papillary muscle right there. Okay, here's the papillary muscle, and the moderator band is here as mentioned. All right, thank you very much. Let me show you the other side, the other corazon, exact same thing. Right auricle takes you to the right atrium, okay, connects to the right ventricle. You have the moderator band here, was cut off, okay? And you have the tricuspid valve right there, okay? You see the chordae tendineae is the valve, is the leaflet of the valve, okay? Chordae tendineae and papillary muscle holding them so they don't flip to the other side with the powerful contraction of the ventricles. Alrighty? Now, I'm going to turn my fingers around and go out. I'm going to show that one too. And go out into veins, okay? And this is one of the veins here, and this is the other one. So this is superior and inferior vena cava. Okay? See? They're right there. And I am in the right ventricle, right atrium. So I didn't make, I'm right here. You see? I know. You don't believe me. I know. There's no boo-boo. Okay? And here. Okay? And I'm coming out superior inferior vena cava. You want to see the other side? I know. I saw it in your eyes. All right. So this is my finger. Okay? In case you forgot what this was. And here's the atrium, right atrium. And I'm going to flip over. And here is the superior vena cava. And I'm going out through the inferior vena cava. Okay? Now, I see it in your eyes. You thought they were connected to each other. These are the pulmonary veins. Okay? They're very close to each other. And just from manipulating, they're connected, but they're not connected. So here, okay? I read your mind, senorita. Superior inferior vena cava, okay? And the cutoff, you see that they are cut off. They're not connected, okay? These are the pulmonary artery that come from the left side or pour into the left side of the heart. Okay? You want to see it here? Do it again. Okay? See, here I cannot show you, but if I want to flip it over now that I know what the situation is, okay? You see that this is the left ventricle, this is the right ventricle, this is the tricuspid, this is the bicuspid. You see two cusps already? Yes? You see the chordae tendineae, you see the papillary muscle. Okay, please don't cut it this way, all right? And those little bumps, ups and downs, like little mountains and valleys, these are called the trabeculae cornea. So technically these are meat columns. Okay? That's the translation of it, right? With layman's term. And that's the interventricular septum right here. To confirm that the interventricular septum comes out of the, or is, the landmark of it is what? The anterior interventricular sulcus. Make sense? Now, this is the anterior surface of the heart. So this has to be the pulmonary trunk. You don't believe me? So we're going to put this here, okay, a probe, and see if it comes out from this side. But supposedly it is in the right ventricle. You're going to believe me. This is not my cut. So I'm not involved. Here is the aorta, aortic arch with its 3 branches. Okay? So think about it as it's going this way, and this was chopped off. Okay? That's the aortic arch, technically. Okay? And if you go further to the aortic arch, you should be able, here it's easier. If you go looky, you see the aortic pulmonary, no, I'll go this way. Aortic semi-lunar valve right there. Can you see it? I have another suggestion. Put your fingers there, please. You see it's being held, yes? Okay. Because you cannot go this way. The blood goes to the other side. Okay? So whenever you go in there, she lied to you. And
Sure.
all right, I'm going to show it to you from
seemed
this
okay.
side. Okay. And here is here are the valves from here. If you want to open it this way, then please. And leave my finger. Forget about it. Okay. You see where my finger is? You don't.
It's moving something.
Yeah. It's moving the valve. Now we see
There
the
it
probe.
is.
Yes? What's next to the probe is the aortic valve. What's around the probe? Okay? But it's in the depth. Okay? Now if I put my finger, try to push it forward. Here's my finger, it's not going anywhere because it's held by one of the pockets of the valve. Okay? See, it's not going anywhere. You see it, but it doesn't go through. Yes? That's the longest one I have. I'm sorry. That's enough. I can't go any further. All right? So this is the aortic semi-lunar valve. You obviously can see it from the left ventricle only. All right? Or from top. Easy to see from top. Looky. Yes? You can see it from the top right now. If you have a flashlight. All right. I have a who has clean hands? You have a flashlight? Well, that's not a flashlight. It's an iPhone. You can see it
In the
very clearly here. Told you it's not going to help you. Let me put my. You know what? I have a little light. Put your hand in my pocket, please. Don't take any money, okay? Yeah. Put this light. Turn it on. And here is. You see those pockets there? No, aim it properly. You show my finger. It's not my finger. I want you here. See those flaps? Let's put it from this side. All right. Here. Here. You see how? You see where my fingers are playing? Here. No, you need to come from this side then. From this side. You see the flaps? Yes? Hey, Nikki, you can see them from where you are. That's not funny. Yes?
I see that.
See? See?
Oh.
See, I'm playing with them.
I
See?
hear it.
See? They're very hard, by the way. See? See? Yes? These are the aortic semi-lunar valve. Thank you. My pocket. Thank you.
It's mine.
No, I put it on the side.
Oh, dang it.
All right. So, and then we have the last thing to identify, which is the coronary artery. See with your, where is the probe? Thank you. Here are the cross sections. So technically, the coronary arteries are this way. My hands are not that big, but you get the idea. Okay, they coronate the artery like a crown, and then you can see very clearly the cut-off section there, right there. See? See that opening here? See this? Yes? See it from the other side too? Okay, that's the cut part of it. Anywhere you cut, you should see the coronary artery, oh, except this one. All right, that's an exception there. And it's not funny. Here, all right? Here, I can hold the whole thing. See, on the side here, on the side there, in the middle of the fat. Okay, you see the coronary arteries piercing everywhere, and you cut it here. That's the other one that you cannot see. Here you can see it very clearly. You see this here? Yes? You see it here? Here. Yeah. And it's on this side too. Okay? And then, if you have a very thin probe and malleable, right? If you want to play more, you can put it in the anterior interventricular sulcus because it has a big vein. All right? So you can try to manipulate your way from here. You see? It is very clear right there. Okay? It's right there. You cannot miss it. If you go this way, okay, and you find your way, it's going to come out from here. Okay? So this is a cut off. And you can see the artery and the vein next to each other here. This is the artery that's holding itself. Yes? And the vein right next to it. Squishy, very thin wall. All right? As long as you know that this is a coronary, you don't have to tell me here's the artery, here's the vein. It's not important. As long as you understand that the coronary is in this area. Okay. But if you tell me that's coronary, well, God knows, right? And the last one, obviously, is the epicardium, which technically is the visceral pericardium. Okay? So this is this layer right there. Very thin layer that you can barely get off. I think some of my students took it off, and they wanted to be, see, hey, here is the epicardium, here is there, like a fiddling, right? Which is okay. It's exactly what you're supposed to see. See the difference there? See how thin this is? See? Here. Here is the epicardium. Got it? That white thingy here on top of the muscles. Thank you very much for your help. Guys and girls, it's time for you to take a look at this. Follow me. One person from each group.